All right, this is part 2 of chapter 12, section 1 notes. We're just going to pick right back up where we left off at. In the party caucuses, where the Republican and Democrats, the two different parties, split in the two chambers of the House to have private meetings with just their party members only, what do they do there? They discuss policy issues and select the party's floor leaders and the committee chairs. So those happen behind closed doors with just their party members only present. This is just a map that shows the representation by state for the House. You can pause and take a moment and look at that. And this is the representation by state for the Senate. You can pause and take a moment to look at that. Our next topic is about another role in Congress, which is called floor leaders. So that's your next heading. Floor leaders, what is that? The definition of floor leaders, they are party officers in the House and Senate. So you can just do a little hyphen right there and write that definition up here beside it. The majority leader of the House or the Senate represent the majority party in each house and controls the order of business on the floor. So there's a majority leader in the House, there's a majority leader in the Senate. They represent, or they control the order of business on the floor of each house, the House or the Senate. And that's the leader of the party. So the majority of the party, whether it be Republican or Democrat, they then nominate who their majority leader is and vote on it. This just shows, like I said, these PowerPoints are old because our textbook is old. At this time, Nancy Pelosi was the Speaker of the House. She wasn't the Speaker of the House. Now she's the Speaker of the House again because for a period of time, Republicans controlled the House of Representatives, so she could no longer be the Speaker because her party did not control it. But now, since her party controls the House, she is now the Speaker of the House again. And again, the first woman to ever be the Speaker of the House. And then there's party officers for the House. James Clyburn down here, he's still in the House. John Boner's gone. I'm not sure. I think Roy Blunt might still be there. And the Mr. Hoyer, he is no longer in the House. So no new heading, just floor leaders continued. All right, so there's also people in the House and the Senate called whips. I know that's a weird name, but that's what they're called. So the party whips, so whether it be the Democratic whips or the Republican whips, the party whips are assistant floor leaders. They help connect the party leadership with the other members. They call them the rank and file members. So the people who are just members who don't hold a title, a leading title or a floor leader or an assistant floor leader, they don't hold any kind of leadership roles. They're called rank and file members. So they kind of go back and forth between the leadership and the rank and file members and discuss things that are happening. The whips also count votes and help see that members are present for key votes. So they let them know this vote's happening, you need to be here. This chart is the Senate. Again, it's very old. So at this point in time, the president of the Senate was Joe Biden because he was the vice president at that time. This guy, Robert Byrd, was the president pro tempore, so that if Joe Biden couldn't be there for whatever reason, then Robert Byrd was in charge. Their party members, their party officers were here, and it gives their titles. This guy, Harry Reid, was the majority floor leader. Then there was a minority floor leader. So each party, so this would have been the Democrats, this would have been Republicans. So each party has representation, no matter which party controls each chamber of Congress, each party has a leader there. So Mitch McConnell, he's still in the Senate. He was, up until the most recent election, he was the majority leader. He would have been this guy of the Senate. He's now the minority leader of the Senate again. Dick Durbin, he's still there. I don't believe John Kill is still there. So that just kind of shows you a breakdown of the officers and the leadership of the Senate. Not who they are, because this is old, but what the titles are. So committee chairman is your next heading. Committee chairman. So there's a lot of different committees in the House and a lot of different committees in the Senate. So to be committee chairs are the people who are kind of in charge of that committee. They're the chairman of that committee. And they have a major say in what bills the committee even considers. If the committee chair doesn't want that bill to be heard, then it's not heard. Usually. Now, other things can happen to make that, make the bill be heard. But they have a major say in what bills the committee considers. They have a major say if public hearings will be held. And they also have a major say in what or who the witnesses will be called if there are witnesses. All right, your next heading is called the Seniority Rule. And seniority just means senior. And if you think about like high school, the seniors are the people who've been there the longest. So that's what the Seniority Rule is. And so you can do a little hyphen again. And what I underline here, you can just write out here as the definition of the Seniority Rule. So the Seniority Rule is an unwritten custom. So it's not in the Constitution. It's an unwritten custom granting the most important posts in Congress, such as committee chairman, to the party members with the longest service. So it's an unwritten custom that the people who have been in the House or the people who have been in the Senate for the longest get to have the more important posts, such as Speaker of the House, Majority Leader, Minority Leader, Committee Chairman. Those people are usually the ones who get to have those posts because they have been in either the House or the Senate the longest. So it's an unwritten custom. Again, it's not in the Constitution. There are critics. So like the cons of the unwritten seniority rule is that the cons are that the rule ignores ability. So like the ability of the person to do the job. Maybe someone younger who's only been there a short amount of time is better. They have a better ability. It discourages younger members from running or even trying to have any kinds of these roles because they don't think they'll be able to get it because they've not been there the longest. And critics also say that it limits fresh ideas because somebody who's been serving for say 40 years don't really have fresh ideas. They're in the mindset of, well, this is what we've always done. This is how we'll continue to do it. So critics say that, sometimes maybe someone who's new to Congress can have more fresh ideas than someone who's, been serving for a very long time. All right, and that is the end of part 2 of the Chapter 12, Section 1 notes. If you did them on paper, please make sure you take a picture that is vertical and not blurry and your handwriting's neat so that I can read that. If you're typing it, then please submit that to this module. If you have any questions, as always, please send me a message on Canvas.